and Minister, my question relates to the urgent need for flood defences in Galway, and specifically an update on the cosaint project. And have the design options been developed? I understand from a previous question they're now up, but you might just clarify that and the status of the project, given the appalling delays that have taken place up to now.
Thanks, Deputy. The Clinical Flood Risk Assessment and Management CFRAM programme was the largest study of flood risk in the country. Study of the flood risk for some of 2/3 the population. Following the base on the CFRAM study outputs, Galway City Council appointed consultants engineers in November 2020 to design an option to protect the city from significant flood event into the future. The work completed by the consultants has identified that the scale of the flood risk in Galway City is much greater than identified in the strategy of CFRAM study. A revised scope reflecting the additional works for the scheme was presented by the scheme's consultants to Galway County Council, the leading authority for the scheme. The scheme was originally intended to protect 312 properties. The revised scheme now is designed to protect a sum of 940 properties. The revised scope includes key walls that extend from the Galway dock area, including along the Long Walk and the Spanish Arch. The properties in the clad area along the Grata Row and Father Clifton Road will be protected by construction of a key wall along the Claddagh Basin and the Nemos Pier. Flood defences along with the property line localised land and road raising at Salt Hill will manage the wave overtopping risk. The Galway County Council submitted a request for additional funding to the Office of Public Works for an increase in the fees to facilitate the revised scope of these was subsequently approved by the OPW in June 2024. The revised programme was published on the scheme website in January 25, with the scheme currently progressing with the development of the design option. There will be an opportunity for the public to view and comment on the design options currently scheduled to take place in June 2025. Thereafter, the emerging preferred option will be a significant development by the scheme's consultants in conjunction with Galway City Council, and it's anticipated that this will be finalised in early 26.
Thank you, Minister.
I'll finish with that back.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy.
Minister, I wish you the best in your job. Just forgive my frustration. And maybe I shouldn't use the word appalling delay, but the absolute unacceptable delay. And so I was on the council, like lots of people here, and I was very familiar with the CFRAM and the necessity then following that to have flood defences. And just let me give you, I think I'm on my 4th minister, it could be 5th, and everyone took a hands-on approach. So planning originally was to be September 23, then it changed to July 25, then it became July 27. The construction was to commence in October 25, then June 26, then December 27. The completion date, Minister, was to be December 27. The next completion date was 29, and March 31 is now the completion date. We've had one public consultation. I know there's another walk-in now in June of this year. The relation to figures 312, the council, City Council know that, and the engineers from back in 2021. So the project has gone from 9 billion to 50 billion. I'll stop on time and come back.
Minister.
Deputy, I really understand, and I spoke to a great number of people in Galway. I was there when it flooded in the day when I was Minister last, and I understand your frustration. But if you look when initially from the CFRAM study, we're gone from 312 properties to 940 properties. That takes in a huge area of Galway and a lot of stakeholders and a lot of consultation has to take place. We have to, we've one chance to get it right. We can't afford to get it wrong. There's a lot of work, very frustrating. But we have a job in hand working with the leading authority. In this case, is Galway County Council. And I work closely with them, no more than yourself, and I give them every opportunity. And if they need works such as minor works, the money is there for them. And I've always helped to facilitate them in any way we possibly can, as is the whole of government.
Thank you, Minister.
Minister, I hope you take a hands-on approach like your previous colleagues. I live in the Claddagh, I know the area, I have a vested interest, but besides that, it's a very important project. And From day one, there was a misunderstanding in relation to a once-in-100 years event. That's what they were planning for, when it was quite clear, and we've seen the recent storm, that this is going to be a frequent event. Of course it's complex. Of course I understand all that. We need to bring the public with us. If there's structure going up, the public need to be with us. There's been one public consultation. It's now years ago. Okay, there'll be a walk-in to look at the plans, and then down the road there'll be a further consultation for the options. That will be really important. The project has gone from 9 million to 50 million. Finally, it has dawned on the establishment that this is a very serious project, complicated and will take time, but we need somebody to drive it. And I'm asking you to drive that, given just some of the dates that have slipped and slipped, and also a project that was going one direction, and then there was an argument with the consultants over the price, and I understand that. But all of this should have been foreseen. At this point, I just want a commitment from a hands-on approach in relation to this, and there'll be no further slipping of times.
Deputy, I'm nearly afraid to say a hands-on approach, because your outset you says you got 4 ministers at Ceist that were given a hands-on. But my interest in flooding is no different than yours or for the whole country, and I give you a firm commitment that I have to follow the rules that's set out in front of me as well, and working with the local authority and yourself and other deputies from the region. I will continue to work with you as I have in the past, and I will in the future. But my job as Minister is to deliver a scheme, and when it goes from 360 to 900, nearly 1,000, it means the scheme is broader, it's bigger, and takes a lot more time. And I understand that, and I hope you do, but I will give you a commitment. Deputy, I could talk to you about my own town of Athlone. It started off with 4 or 5 cells, it ends up with 11 or 13. You know, these all take time. The CFRAM was set out to do a job. It has done the job, and when they've been appointed to the consultants, they realise the scheme is way bigger than most things. And I will give you assurance that I will be hands-on, and I will do what's necessary to bring it to conclusion.